How you doing, guys? Today I wanted to talk about my personal wish list for the Grand Theft Auto 6 Online. Now, I actually have made already a similar video to this, but I actually specifically talked about Grand Theft Auto 6 single player. And here's the incentivization. I want you to guys firstly check that video out, because there's a lot of lists that I have pointed out and they will be applicable to here as well. I will mention them briefly one more time, but in full details, full explanation, I highly encourage you to check that video out. Links down below in the description and in the pinned comment as well. Now, let's begin. Firstly, I wanted to get out the way those brief of the list that I already have mentioned, such as controls and aiming improvements, multiple maps, perhaps maybe something a completely different map as well, improvements to the graphics, that's of course including the minimum should be 60 FPS, far more customization options, not just for the character or vehicles, I mean like houses and much more. And also talking about sport variations, not just like running or marathon or tennis, far more I'm talking about, even more crazy ones on top of that. Casino gambling tournaments, and more robust stocks. Now, regarding these two last points, I'm actually going to get into those a little more briefly and specifically talk about for the online, because they don't really apply for the single player, because, you know, the economy and the money thing. Now, let's just begin. So, the first thing I wanted to mention on my first wish list for the online mode of Grand Theft Auto 6 is to have a consistent updates as the DLCs will be popping out, right? Now, I'm not talking about the quantity, I'm talking about the quality. As I believe so, Grand Theft Auto 5, as of yet this far, they had already about, I'm not too sure, 50 updates or something. It was insane. And how many times have we actually got a robust, proper content, quality DLC? Not that many. Most of the times what we have gotten was just more or less of new clothes, some weapons, and some extra modes. And, you know, that just pretty much does that, and a couple more vehicles. And such as the heists, well, obviously they were not enough. And there were like a few other things as well, but I'm talking about quality DLCs. So yes, it would be nice to see these kind of things, like stories, maybe let's say quests, side quests, implemented into the online mode of the Grand Theft Auto 6. That's actually nicely goes to my second wish list, role-playing feature, such as being maybe a regular guy, a regular folk. Maybe you could be a cop, maybe you could be a fireman, maybe an office worker, cash register, banker, taxi driver, and of course, you will be making money out of that. Now, this is quite important as well. It should not be tedious, and do not micromanage this. This is quite important, or it will get super repetitive and super fucking boring fast. And it's quite important for Rockstar to note this. Now, I don't particularly think that they will be implementing anything like this into their game, especially online. But have you any idea, guys, how many people out there actually concentrate their content just to roleplay maybe a cop, maybe a taxi driver, maybe just a simple office worker? And, you know, that's pretty awesome. I would like to have this kind of feature, an option at least. I'm not saying that all of you would like to have the same, because this is my opinion, guys. Now, I think I got that out the way. I want to get to the next thing. It's talking about the grieving system. Now, there needs to be some kind of improvements on this. There has been already quite a few more improvements done already, but I'm talking about maybe have like less people to vote, to kick, you know, out of the server, so that you just, you know, refresh the server so you can go somewhere else instead. Maybe, I don't think it should be like far less people that need to vote to kick. Maybe that particular fellow who's like keeps on killing you or specifically aiming for you. Grieving system needs some kind of improvements. Now, I think this is a big one. I don't know if Rockstar will be able to implement this. Rental server. This is actually was already done similarly in Battlefield games. Like, for example, right? You can have your own server. You control that server. Let people join in, let them do whatever they want. Maybe invite your friends and stuff, right? You make your own decision. You want to have infinite amount of money? You can do that. For your friends as well, you can do that. Maybe you want to get them any car that they want? You can do that as well. Make them a dinosaur? You can do that. No, for example. But still, If you want to do that, that's possible, but it needs to be a rental server. All the capabilities are in your hands. What I mean is rental. This is not free. You will not get such an access for free. It does not work like that. You need to pay money to Rockstar. However much, I don't have the estimate of how much. If this would be possible to be implemented into Grand Theft Auto 6 Online, that would be pretty fantastic. Maybe to see as well, I think that people would like to have this feature for the content creators especially. Maybe they can invite their fans, come in together, and they'll be, having a good time. This actually goes nicely, talking about inviting your fans. Bigger lobbies. For the love of God, it needs to have far more people. Let it be like up to 64 players, let it be even more than 100 players, all in one lobby, all in one server, if that's possible. That would be so nice. And so you could be able to interact with so many more people. Now this is also a bit of a problem because it can implement of the grieving system, right? There will be more people, so there's a chance that more people will be annoying you or whatever. So this is why I mentioned the grieving system needs some kind of improvements. But as well, more people obviously means more fun. So my next thing on my list, I think it might be an interesting one. It's all about car shows. Now guys, if you do not know what it is, it's basically a bunch of people, a bunch of friends, even could be randoms as well, bring their coolest looking cars that they think that they have managed to do a customization. And they basically stand in front of the cars, well, it depends of course, or on top of their cars in Grand Theft Auto usually. And basically show off, talk about it, have a bit of a discussion, and they all group up together and have a like a beautiful look of cars. Like you get to fantasize these sort of things, like from maybe like a Fast and Furious movies and drifting and stuff, and you can look at those cars as well. And then you have a bit of a discussion and see where you got this idea and the inspiration from and why you made it like this. This is nice conversations you can have. But here's the bit of a problem again with those grievers, I want to say. It's basically, some of the times people just, they can go nuts. They throw a C4 to blow up a whole thing and blows up all the cars, and the show is completely ruined. So you have to start again, or, it just takes too much time. Just maybe make this as a feature. Maybe make it so that you would not be able to destroy their cars like that, man. So, don't let the other people join in. Maybe have like a private service, so just people will be able to join you. But the problem with the private service, obviously, right, it just doesn't work. It's just not as big an appeal. You inviting your friends, it just wouldn't really work. Public server, that's the way to go. But if there's a way to actually make sure that some randoms that do not know what the hell is happening and they just want to blow up stuff, they just go ahead and blow it up. And so if there would be a way for them not to do that, now that would be awesome. I don't know, I like this idea. I've seen so many shows on YouTube, Grand Theft Auto Online, people talking about the cars and car shows. It's really awesome, and unfortunately a lot of YouTubers don't do that anymore because it's such a pain in the ass after somebody blows up all the cars and it's just a complete full video ruined of all that time. So it just really is unfortunate. But anyway, next thing, I have mentioned it already regarding it, stock marketing. Now, okay, the reason in this why I wanted to make this a little bit of a different discussion is because real money will be indeed involving in this situation, but there's a way to fix it. How about we make this stock marketing have a different currency entirely? Let's say, like the Red Dead Redemption Online does it, as it goes, right? There's gold bars and there's also cash. How about only stock markets will be able to take your cash, but gold bars could be your real life money. I think that could really fix the issue. You play the game, you earn the cash anyway, and obviously you will be able to invest into that certain stock, and perhaps maybe one at a time. Maybe some people out there in your server, they do a mission, they help you out with the stock, or maybe they substantially decline your own stock, so you'll be going poor and you'll be going on a decline. And so basically maybe you involving with those specific missions or whatever you have to do, and that will boost up your stocks dramatically, and that will be nice. And so you will be able to build up your cash with that as well. I think it would be nice. I don't know, it could be really cool, but there's not a bit of a problem with this as well. Cheating. There's a way to always exploit this algorithm, because there's a way you heard me what I say, right? The missions, if people will find out, and I'm sure people will find out, of ways to have infinite amount of money, or at least what is the best way to gain money, to earn money, to make money. And so obviously they're gonna go look at the stocks, invest all their money into that, and so go ahead to that one specific mission, and you get the most out of it in doing the investment. And so you're gonna make like triple the amount of money than you ever had. And so there's always way to exploit that algorithm, and that really would suck as well. And personally, I don't think this might come out into fruition because it might be too much of a pain in the ass for Rockstar to fix this issue. Now, the next thing I have also mentioned is gambling, casino tournaments and whatnot. Now, this is also a similar situation with real money and maybe a second economy. And again, gold bars and maybe the real life money, maybe that can work. Now, obviously, it's not gonna be gold bars because, Grand Theft Auto would not really make sense to have gold bars right there as a currency. In Red Dead Online, that did make sense, but this one, maybe they have different varieties of currencies you could have. And so that's talking about as well the casino, gambling. If you guys did not know, Grand Theft Auto Online will actually have, seriously, like in few days, few weeks, months, I'm not too sure, but they will be bringing casino into Grand Theft Auto Online. So that's awesome. And I do want to see this implementation in Grand Theft Auto 6 Online. And as soon as possible, not like 5-6 years to wait out. That's quite important, I think, anyway. And I would like to see that. I think it really will work. I want to play blackjack. I want to play these sort of card games and whatnot. It would be pretty cool. I don't know. Now the next second last thing anyway is the auction house. Yes, bidding for the stuff with money, and that's including cars, custom cars, paintings. Let's say just as a variety, custom weapons. Something like an exclusive stuff that you really want to have. And of course, I'm also talking about buildings, your houses, if you want to go crazy with your yachts as well. But also because of this, it actually raises the question, wait, isn't this pretty much sharing, but with money? Yes, but don't make it sharing like, inventory to an inventory, to another friend of yours, to a different friend of yours. For example, maybe make it more interesting. Like I mentioned, the auction house I think might be the way to go. Now, I cannot exclude that the sharing. I don't think that would make much sense. Let's say with your friends you could share, but up to a certain amount every day, not to exploit the system. And maybe as well, you will not be able to share very expensive stuff. The maximum you can do, maybe say you can give him a pistol. And the other thing, maybe you can give him like $1,000, for as an example. I think it might actually work. I think it would be very, very cool as well. Auction house? I would love to see that, You're bidding as much as you want. You've never seen this sort of stuff. And for the exclusive equipments or whatnot, I think it really will work. And I think it's pretty fantastic as well. And lastly, I think this is actually the most important thing. Because Grand Theft Auto 5 Online had that giant damn issue. It's a simple one. I'm sure everyone wants this as well. Yes, I'm talking about less loading screens, connection improvements, especially on consoles. This was a big problem in Grand Theft Auto Online. They need to do some kind of improvements for that. I don't know how. Personally for me, I think they need to make sure that they take more time so they will be able to refine their that they will be more confident whenever they will likely able to share the online experience with us. Single player story is a different story, obviously, but online, that was a big dramatic disaster when online first came out. Remember those days? Jesus, for months it took completely to be finally be perfect to get a connection. Even though at this moment I don't believe it's actually the best as it can be, but still it's far more refined than it ever was. And anyway, that's all I got. This is my wish list of Grand Theft Auto 6 single player and Grand Theft Auto 6 online. And guys, again, take a look at my Grand Theft Auto 6 single player, because a lot of these stuff that I mentioned, I have made my own full explanations, and I put a lot of time into that video. I highly encourage you to check that out. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe as always. And yeah, have a good one.